Okay, so with the recent performance from Barcelona against Atletico Madrid where they won 3-1, there has been a lot of questions revolving around the return of Raphinha and Pedri, and also Gerard Martin, aka Gerard Maldini, performing well as a left center back, a great partner to Pau Cubarsí. That has been the main conversation coming from most of the comments, and so I'm going to be just replying to two different questions because all of them are basically the same thing. And we're going to go into great detail on Pedri and Raphinha's return and the rise of Gerard Maldini. So if you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. I'm happy that you guys are here. If you guys are Barcelona fans, this is going to be the channel for you. This is where we do talk about everything in regards to FC Barcelona, from transfer news to player analysis to match reviews to match previews and everything in between. So if you guys do end up liking this video, please click the thumbs up button. I also heard that there is this thing called hype points. It's something new that the YouTube algorithm has introduced. So if you guys do see that button, just click on that and we'll see how everything does play out. And also, if you guys end up really liking this video and you guys want to see more, please subscribe to the channel because there's going to be way more videos coming down later this week, and especially with the Barcelona playing against Real Betis away from home very soon. So let's talk about the first question, and we do have a question coming from SGBSTRNCTCHR, and he has asked, do you think without Raphinha and Pedri on the pitch, Barcelona will be dead this season? Also, wishing Dani Olmo and Pedri a speedy recovery. Okay, so just so you guys know, I know that this is not the question, but Dani Olmo is expected to return in about 2 weeks, and as for Pedri, Pedri was only taken off because of fatigue and nothing more. He's not injured. Hansi Flick has just said that Pedri should be rested and he should be given more time to recover and to slowly get integrated back into playing 90-minute matches every week. But besides that, right, going back to Raphinha and Pedri, yes, I know that with Raphinha and Pedri, it makes a massive difference, and we saw that against Atletico Madrid. Raphinha was making those runs in the half spaces, pressing Atletico Madrid's defensive line over and over again, leading the attack, leading the press, leading the defense, giving Barcelona the spirit, the fighting spirit that Barcelona were missing. Ever since Raphinha made that return, he has been excellent for us, and it took about 2 matches for him to return to his level, because he did return against Athletic Club where Barcelona won 4-0 back on the 22nd of November, and he did okay, not having no goals nor assists. And then in the match against Chelsea, once again, he did okay, he did decent. I will give him like a 6 out of 10 type of performance. Barcelona unfortunately lost 3-0, but then came the last 2 matches against Alaves and against Atletico Madrid. Raphinha provided an assist against Alaves and then a goal against Atletico Madrid, and so we're getting the best out of Raphinha, and Barcelona are feeling it. The same thing can be said with Pedri, because when Pedri is on the pitch, we all know that we are much safer with and without the ball. Pedri is a dual winner, a player that can circulate the ball much faster, find a lot of players open, whether it's on the right side or the far left side or through the middle or through the back. Pedri is the organizer, and Barcelona just simply look a lot more dominant. Yes, it is true that without Raphinha and Pedri, Barcelona are worse, but it does not mean that Barcelona are bad. They're just worse. But I think that can be said about every team out there in the world of football. When Man City don't have Erling Haaland, they suffer. When Bayern Munich don't have Harry Kane, they suffer. When Real Madrid don't have Kylian Mbappe, especially, right, because he scores all of the goals, they also do suffer. It's very simple, and it makes a lot of sense. When you don't have your best players on the pitch, you're going to be degrading your level. It does not mean that you're going to be bad and you're going to become the worst team in the world. No, it's just that your level is going to get lower, but it could have been better with your best players. And, you know, Barcelona performed well with Pedri, winning 75% of games he participated in so far in this season. And with him, Barcelona do average 2.94 goals per 90 minutes and concede 1.25 goals per 90 minutes. When Pedri is not there, Barcelona's average goal rate does go down to like 2.30 per 90 minutes. So yes, there is an effect with and without Pedri. The same thing can be said when Barcelona don't have Raphinha. When Raphinha is not on the pitch, Barcelona's win rate drops to around 67% with 2.44 goals per 90 minutes and averaging 1.67 conceded goals per 90 minutes, which is higher when Raphinha is not there. Because when Raphinha is there, they only concede around 1.25 to 1.20 per 90 minutes. And it has also been said that when Barcelona do have Pedri and Raphinha together, like simultaneously, their numbers just skyrocket. They average around 3 goals per 90 minutes, and their defense only concedes 1.1 per 90 minutes. A huge improvement when you compare it to Barcelona not having either Pedri or not having Raphinha. So yes, they're very important. And do I think that Hansi Flick should try his best to find a replacement to Raphinha and Pedri? I would say yes, but is that realistic? I don't think so. I don't think that you can find a other Raphinha out there in the world of football, nor Pedri. I think the best thing that you can do as a manager is to really just get the best out of the collective performance when all chips are down. And that's basically it. Now moving on towards the next question coming from Oyen Ir Ante Mitayo 8798. 998. I also did combine this question with Chatty9044, and I also slotted in one of the comments that DLao9991 made just below this question. So I'm going to be reading everything here, starting with the first one. What do you think of making Gerard Martin and Cubarsí our starting center back partnership? Would you put Eric Garcia on the bench, center back, right back, or midfield when everyone is fit, including Frankie de Jong? And then we have Chatty, who asked a very similar question, and he said, not a question, but Gerard Martin has passed the first big game test as a left center back. And then the comment was, the fact that he pocketed Alvarez and Sorloth says a lot already of his defensive awareness. And so I guess you can see the total consensus that people are having here, right? Because many have been saying that Gerard Martin is the perfect partner to Pau Cubarsí. And I think that yes, as of right now, Gerard Martin is looking like a starting left center back for Hansi Flick's FC Barcelona. I can't believe I'm saying that in 2025, because a year ago today, many people were shaming on Gerard Martin and that Gerard Martin had no level to compete on the left back position, that he was nowhere near the level of Alejandro Balde in terms of attacking efficiency, even with the defensive awareness. Gerard Martin was not the best, but only to find out a year later, not only has he excelled as a left back by providing a couple of assists against Inter Milan, but now he has progressed from that and now is performing very well as a left center back, who now plays between Alejandro Balde and Pau Cubarsí. It's very surprising because if you guys seen his performance against Atletico Madrid, Gerard Martin was everywhere, pocketed Sorloth in one play where Sorloth did have the ball, but then tackled the ball so perfectly that Sorloth fell to the ground. There was even a point where Alvarez got the ball, but Gerard Martin was pressing on him. And I think that there was also this moment where, if I'm not mistaken, Simeone, right, the right winger of Atletico Madrid, he did have the ball and he was making that run behind the defensive line, and then Gerard Martin came in the last minute to stop him from that attacking play. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was also Gerard Martin, but Gerard Martin had great defensive awareness, just like what these people have been saying. And I'm very happy for him because Gerard Martin has played as a left center back in 3 matches so far in La Liga. One of them was against Athletic Club, where Barcelona won 4-0. Another one was against Alaves, where Barcelona won 3-1. And another one was against Atletico Madrid, where Barcelona won 3-1. All home games with full 90-minute starts and 3 wins. The win rate is 100%. So the fact that Barcelona scored 10 goals and conceded only 2 across 270 minutes within those 3 matches of Gerard Martin playing as a left center back, it does seem like this could be the way forward. And even though his sample rate is very small, the fact that we can say that he excels in progressive passes, because he does average 8.5 progressive passes per 90 minutes, that is far superior to the other center backs when they are playing as a center back in this season, like Eric Garcia averaging 1 progressive pass per 90 minutes, Araujo averaging 1.4 progressive passes per 90 minutes, Christensen averaging 0.7 progressive passes per 90 minutes, Pau Cubarsí averaging 1.5 progressive passes per 90 minutes. Gerard Martin is at 8.5. And then you also add in the fact that he has a high pass accuracy rate, averaging 91%. It supports the build-up play that Hansi Flick is looking for. And so he is currently the ideal profile. He's also very strong in tackles, averaging 3.5 per 90 minutes, and aerial duels with a 76% win rate. Let's remember, this is the exact same stat that somebody like Schlotterbeck has at Dortmund. He does have a aerial win rate of 75 to 76%. Gerard Martin also has 1.8 interceptions per 90 minutes and clearances of 3.0 per 90 minutes. And so he is great defensively and great in terms of, once again, the defensive awareness. It is a small sample, and I think that these numbers could be diminished just a little the more game time you do give him, because eventually he is going to be making some mistakes. He is going to be having some bad matches, like every center back does and every player in the world does when you play enough matches. But so far, so good. It does seem like he's versatile. He can play as a left back, as a center back, with elite ball progression. It puts him in the 90th percentile among all defenders. And so this does get me very excited. And with Gerard Martin now slotting into that position, it does force for a player like Eric Garcia to either just see the right back position or the CDM position, which is going to be the next thing that I do want to talk about, because he did also mention, where would I put Eric Garcia? And I would say the CDM position really does align with him, because if you look at Eric Garcia's performance against Atletico Madrid, this was a game where Atletico Madrid really wanted to win the ball in the middle, but Eric Garcia never gave them that chance. Eric Garcia was great in terms of interceptions, clearances, blocks, tackles, even with the progressive passes. When he had the ball, he was protecting the ball, making sure that the ball goes somewhere else when Atletico Madrid were pressing. Eric Garcia was just that guy. He seemed reliable, and everything that Eric Garcia has been doing so far this season really does remind me of prime Mascherano. Maybe he does not have the same hustle type of mentality, like where you see him like really tracking back and just like really busting that last minute slide tackle, but with given time, Eric Garcia can reach those type of levels. Eric Garcia is so amazing as a CDM. And I just keep going back to that one moment when we heard so much news about Hansi Flick intervening and saying that he wants to keep Eric Garcia because he has huge plans for him. I really do think that Flick can turn Eric Garcia into one of the best CDMs in the world in about 2 years if he continues to give him these type of chances. So he has been exceptional. And I think that with Frankie eventually returning, I would say that for the first time ever, Eric Garcia can finally give Frankie de Jong a fight for a position within the midfield. I will still put Frankie de Jong over Eric Garcia because Frankie de Jong has more elegance, more abilities with the ball when trying to get out from the back. But if Eric Garcia learns these type of traits, he excels in progressive passes, always looking for the right man, always looking to make the correct decisions when playing out from the back, and it just collectively makes Barcelona play safer, then eventually, yes, I do think that Eric Garcia can match Frankie and get paired with Pedri consistently. But as of right now, I would put Eric Garcia on the bench, but for sure he is my first, but I mean like first choice if Pedri or Frankie ever get fatigued or injured or they need to be substituted. I no longer have Casado nor Bernal over Eric Garcia anymore. Eric Garcia is the third choice in the CDM position when the chips are down between Frankie and Pedri. Eric Garcia is a better CDM compared to Casado and Bernal at the moment. But that is it, right? That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.